All right, so after 6 days, I have 2 days and 17 hours played. So that's about 65 hours of in-game time. To be fair, that's a little bit of AFK time, a little bit of trade site time, and mostly gaming. During day one, there was a lot of disconnects, and I had to sit around waiting to re-instance and all that kind of stuff. So let's say over 24 hours of in-game time in 6 days. These are Noob's thoughts on PoE 2, A Third Edict. All right, so let's start off by talking about the campaign. I don't know what to say other than it's way too long. This is an ARPG. It's a big part the end game. So trying to get to the end game feels like a slog. Like it just does. I don't want to say that, but I feel like that's the only way to put it. The first time you play through the campaign, it is pretty fun. It's enjoyable. After Act 3, it is very punishing. So I feel like there's still some scaling issues that need to get fixed. But if you're playing hardcore, I'm sure it was tough. I ripped many times playing softcore, so I can't even imagine. But yeah, getting to the end game feels like a chore. I don't want to make an ult. Like it took me about 14 hours. To be fair, there was a lot of disconnect and issues during the first day, so it took me a while, but it still took me about 14 hours to get through the entire campaign and get into mapping. Which, if you're playing a single player game, is great, fun, it was enjoyable, but I don't want to do it again. I really don't. Compared to something like Last Epoch, where I had alts every other day and I was making new builds and trying new classes and doing something different every day. This I'm not. I'm happy I started Deadeye because no, I don't want to do that campaign again. I really don't. Next, sprints. So I feel like sprints is a good addition to the game, but I hate it. I feel like it's a band-aid. The maps are still way too big. Act 4 maps are even bigger, I feel like. Um, yeah. I guess sprint kind of gets the job done, but then it comes into this whole thing of why is there a punishment for everything in this game? Like I get that adding a punishment could add a sense of importance to your decisions, but does it have to be on every single decision? Why can't you just add a little bit more movement speed and make the maps a little bit smaller instead of giving a punishing sprint where if you get hit and knocked down, you're down for what feels like an eternity? But I don't know. That's just my thought for it. Um, yeah. The new season mechanic Abyss. So for this one, I feel like it's always in your way. There's no way around it. There's a pathway from A to B and an abyss in the middle. Now, that's great and all, but the elites are way too scary, especially in the beginning when you're doing the campaign. The first time I had Abyssal Depths, I went in there and there was a triple elite at the end, and all three used their Goku blast on me at the same time, and there was nothing I could do about it, and I just vaporized. So I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like it's too dangerous for the rewards that you get for it. And it's forced. Like there's nothing you could do to get around it. You just have to kind of clear it and go through. So another new addition, trading. The new trading system, to me, amazing. There's some additions to be made to it, some adaptations, but I feel like it's the best addition to the game so far. I feel like it was needed and very critical. One thing I am worried about is how the trade site adjusts for different currencies because right now as I'm making this video, one alch is a lot cheaper than one orb of chance. But an orb of chance is showing as a higher ranked lower price item than an orb of alchemy. I feel like there's a little bit of room for abuse here. I don't know how the website's linked to the market or the pricing of the currencies. I just feel like I'm assuming it already is, but it needs to update more frequently. At least in the beginning of the season, probably towards the mid or later end of the season, uh, as the market's settled in, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But early game, I feel like there's a lot of room for abuse. I shouldn't say I feel like I'm seeing it get abused. For the next change, we have support gems. So I didn't play too much of the first or second seasons. I got to mapping and I did like tier 1 maps pretty much, and that was it. And multiple support gems is supposed to open up build diversity. That's the whole idea of it. But at this point, I personally don't see that happening, and I don't see how that would happen. I think it's still good because the other way, where you can only put one support gem of each style in your entire build, it doesn't limit builds, but you're still going to have the same builds regardless. So now you're just using the same support gem on every skill. So I don't know. I don't feel like it made too much of a difference to build diversity, but I do like it as a quality of life feature. So onto mapping. Um, yeah, I personally hate the Nexus or Nexi. They're nearly impossible to find, and you need to clear them individually. So like I was doing a tier 10 Nexus and the quest was a 6 plus Nexus. So when I cleared it, it gave me the next quest, which is a 10 plus Nexus. So even though I did a 10 plus, it only accounted for the 6 plus. So it didn't jump the tiers. So now I have to look for another Nexus so I could clear it again. And this whole searching for what you want, it's a little annoying. I don't know how I feel about it. If it was like a waystone, you still have to farm for the waystone, but I guess you can probably buy it on the trade site. So if there was a waystone that gave you the ability to clear a nexus, maybe something like that. But yeah, there's also the fact that since they're so hard to find, I was nervous to juice my maps that I was using on the Nexus because what if I fail it? Now I have to go through another 15, 20 maps searching for another Nexus, and I hope that I clear it. So there's that too. I also dislike the fact that there's a difference in portal count for difficulty. I get it, it makes it more important, more challenging. Yeah, but just keep it one portal count. If you're gonna drop it down to three, drop it down to three. I know they did the one life thing for a while, but six is a good count. It lets you do stuff. It lets you take risks. But I don't like that every map has a different portal count. It's just it puts me off a little bit. Other than that, I just wanted to say I hate trial ascendancies, or the ascendancy trials. I hate them with a passion. I don't want to do them, and that's just how I feel. That's all I gotta say. If there's anything I missed or you guys want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments. How do you guys feel about the new third edict? These were just my thoughts. This is my first time getting this far. I am up to tier 15 maps. I've never gotten past tier 1 in PoE 2. So this is just the thoughts of a noob after 65 hours of playtime. See you next time.